Hello friends, Tal here, and welcome to another new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the August 23rd hotfixes that went ahead and went live on the Legion pre-patch 2 days ago basically. I'm recording this on the 25th, it's been a couple of days. I've been learning how to use Adobe Premiere Elements 14, which if you saw that nice little intro, I hope you guys liked it. I basically stayed up one entire night and taught myself to the best of my ability how to do everything I was doing before on Windows Movie Maker, but using the new program. I hope you guys like it. I do appreciate any feedback on it. Let me know in the comments as well. There's going to be something at the ending. Let me know how that goes. But yeah, it took me forever. I still haven't learned everything. It's like my head exploded, basically. But I hope what I've been able to pull together and manage and everything is decent enough to be used from here on going out. That being said, we have hotfixes to go over. Some pretty big changes, but maybe not as sky is falling as you might think. So first of all, we're going to go over Death Knights, and Death Knights have had the hammer drop on their ass. We have Blood having Blood Boil's damage be reduced by 39%. Now this has been coming for a long time. Blood DKs have had a massive amount of DPS, basically the entire beta period, alpha period on top of that. And recently they nerfed their Heart Strike, now they nerfed the Blood Boil. I think that maybe the Heart Strike nerf is not justified now, and maybe they should go back and change that, especially if they had planned to nerf Blood Boil anyways. But I mean, even with these changes, I think that Blood is probably still one of the top DPS tank specs. So I think they'll be mostly fine. But it does feel a little bit bad that they keep nerfing everything about them as far as their damage goes. So kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. Now moving on from there, no changes to the Demon Hunter. We go to Druid. Now this is the really big change. The one that everyone's been, sending me messages on YouTube, has been typing in the comments like, oh, are you still going to main Guardian Druid? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Let me just be super clear about what the changes are first, and I'll tell you my opinions on it. So first of all, the mastery for Guardian Druids has been nerfed and cut in half. Essentially, the healing received and the health buff has gone from 8% to 4%, and they have buffed Iron Fur from 75% armor to 100% armor to sort of mitigate that change. Now, why did this happen? Guardian Druids have been considered one of the best tanks throughout the entire alpha beta period. And as you go on through the expansion, as they stacked more and more mastery, it was getting to the point where they had multiple millions of health more than the other tanks at 110 with a lot of gear. This was a scaling issue. They were starting to be way too good. There was too much of a benefit to having mastery, to a point where it was overshadowing their other stats. Haste was just left in the dirt. Crit is a terrible defensive stat. It was pretty bad. But with this change, they've tried to pull in haste a little bit more, give haste a little more importance, although math is seeming like versatility mastery is still going to be the go-to for survivability, which of course I always recommend everyone go for until they're geared and they know the fights, they've killed it a couple times. When you're on farm content, that's when you go for all the DPS stuff. So what are my thoughts on this? I think that for the most part, it's an okay change. They did say that there was an unintentional threat nerf because of this, because when you nerf mastery, of course, all tank masteries also give attack power, so they didn't mean to nerf that part, but they're going to go ahead and try to do a hotfix for that. Now, overall, I think that it's not that big of a negative change. They're trying to bring all the tanks in line. They recently buffed Demon Hunters a little bit to bring them back up. They nerfed Prot Warriors a little bit. I think that Prot Warriors need another little nerf, personally. And the only reason for that is that Ignore Pain is too good of an answer to everything. You can magic damage, ignore pain. Physical damage, ignore pain. A bunch of AoE, ignore pain. Single target burst damage, ignore pain. It's the answer to every single situation, and it's a very strong answer to every single situation. That's why I think ignore pain needs to be specifically nerfed again, or some of the talents change around or something. But they need to do one more nerf to Prot Warriors, and then the tanks will be in line. I think what this has done is made Guardian, brought it down a little bit to the level that Blood DKs, Demon Hunters, Protection Paladins, Brewmasters, and that little nebulous where they all mix in together. I think that it's a decent change. Yes, it's a nerf. Yes, it makes them a little bit worse. But I don't think it's the sky is falling type thing. I think I'm probably still going to be focusing on maining one, just because the reason I wanted to be a druid, right, is because of the smoothness of keeping them alive. You could say that, oh, magic damage, they're useless against magic damage. Well, no, you have Mark of Versal, which is just like Iron Fur. You can keep up Iron Fur almost the entire time you're tanking. If you're not using Iron Fur because you have a boss that only does spells and doesn't do auto attacks, just keep up Mark of Versal. The whole point of being a druid or a guardian druid, in my opinion, is the smoothness of tanking, the smoothness of damage intake and being healed up. Even though the mastery has been nerfed, you still have a mastery that makes other healing on you even your healing on yourself be stronger. And I think that cannot be tossed aside. That can't be ignored. Prot warriors are still better. Okay, so you're hearing it here first. Prot warriors are still the best progression tanks by far. But I don't think that's because they're just built better than everyone else or it's intentional. I think that honestly they need another targeted nerf, and I would be surprised if by the time raids actually come out that hasn't changed. You guys need to keep in mind, I could change my main tank like the week before raids come out. It could happen. It could completely happen because balance is happening all the time. I was a Windwalker monk in Hymo, okay? I had 2 weeks, 2 glorious weeks of all the gear being given to me, of having my DPS just obliterate every single other person, and then I was brought back down to heaven. I was brought back down to earth from heaven, and my wings melted, and it was awful. So I know what that's like. Changes can still happen. For now, I'm still going to probably be giving Guardian my main, but it could change at any point. But I just wanted to let you guys know that that's how balance goes, and personally, I think it's a decent change, bringing them all in line. I think right now you have Protection Paladins, which are good in short bursts of tanking. Brewmasters, which, completely negate any and all burst damage, but don't bring anything outside of that. Demon Hunters, that are fun. They have a lot of utility. They have some self-healing, but their passive mitigation is pretty shit. Blood Decays, which are reactive like the Demon Hunter, but have more options in their talent choices to be more, damage absorption and reducing damage and things. And then you have Prot Warriors, just, lording over everyone else, and Guardian Druids in between that level of Blood Decay and Prot Warrior, where it's like they're good, they're decent, they're good tanks. They're just good tanks, but they're not the gods of tanking. So that's my opinion on all of that. Hopefully there's more, targeted balance changes, everything gets a little bit better. But I think that overall the changes they've been doing have been mostly good. So monks didn't get any changes, paladins didn't get any changes, and coming down to warriors, there are no warrior changes. So that's it. That's it for the August 23rd hotfixes. I mean, overall, it's just nerfing Blood's damage a little bit and nerfing Guardian's mastery scaling problem. Because remember, at the higher ends of 110 with the gear and everything, the mastery was scaling out of control to the point where they would be just monsters. That has to be addressed. Scaling has to be addressed now, not later, because later, once you've already geared out the tank, you put all this time into it, and now it's nerfed, that's when it feels really, really shitty. But anyways, guys, I hope you liked the video. Please, again, let me know what you think about the intro, the outro. It's going to be playing right after this video is done. I put a lot of time and effort into this, and I hope you guys appreciated it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and drop it a like. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content just like this. And I want to thank the time each and every single one of you took out of your day to go ahead and watch this, as well as a very special thank you to my Patreon patrons who continue to make this dream a reality through their monthly continued support. If you'd like to go ahead and become a Patreon patron, you can go ahead and click right there on the logo. It'll take you right to the page. And other than that, you can go ahead and tweet me or follow me at Tauriel here on Twitter. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastic day. See you guys around.
Turns to gray, we'll calmly walk away from the fray. When structure falls and all else fails, we will build it once again. We can climb high, higher than before, or we could stand by while it burns to the floor, though we cannot fly.